Hey everyone, Tina Forsyth here of OnlineBusinessManager.com, and together with me, of course, again today is Lena West, the founder and creator. Woo, woo, it's like jazz hands or something.
Jazz.
The founder and creator of the Authentic Influencer Social Media Marketing System, which is a 9-step program that makes social media work to help grow a business. That's really the heart of it. We're talking about myths, you guys, and today is myth number 4. It's video number 4, and we're busting myths and answering questions and kind of helping tackle some of these common issues and challenges that we know you guys run into out there. Myth number 4 is don't worry about the results. Don't worry about tracking things with social media. Just know that it's working. You know, social media, it's one of these things, it's working for you, but you can't, just trust it. Just know that it's serving you, right?
Yeah.
That's actually frightening from a business building perspective.
It's I call that the Santa Claus Easter Bunny approach to social media. It's, just know that the tooth fairy is coming sometime tonight and you'll get some results. I mean, like, whatever. Yeah, so for those of you who have taken classes or heard me speak or read anything that I've written, I'm big with metrics. Big, big, big. This is one of the last steps in the 9-step program, but it's a big one because all too often people will do any number of things with trying to figure out their return on their social media investment. So one of the first things that I see is they use ROI as a reason to not use social media, period. Well, there's no defined way to figure out what kind of results that I'm definitely getting from social media. That's not true, number one. And then number two, people use that as a deflector, again, to not engage. So I think we've got to look at, okay, what is it that you're trying to do? The other thing that I see also is people not matching the thing that they're measuring to the goal they said they wanted. So here's a really simple example. If I want to measure how big my bank account is growing, let's say, I'm not going to look at my electric bill. I'm going to look at my bank statement, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want to measure whether or not you are getting in front of new audiences, you're going to take one metric and track that. If you want to measure whether or not people are engaging with your brand on a deeper level, you're going to look at another metric. So a lot of the metrics that people are tracking are just nonsensical and don't mean anything in terms of social media marketing. And they're not tying the metric back to the business goal. And so it's hard for them to even say what's working and what's not. And one of the things that we do with our clients is we look at, okay, what is it that you say you want? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, now what metric do we have to measure to make sure that we are hitting that mark? And it's as simple as that. So many people, they measure engagement by clicks. They measure engagement with this or that. And it's like, no, you've got the wrong metric. So you've got to be about what you're measuring. It's not just about, oh, well, let's just put some numbers on a page.
Yeah.
No.
And two, to know, even tying back to video number 1 with the strategy and why are you doing this and what do you want to accomplish here, right? It's funny how it all ties back to the beginning in that sense. But it's not just about, like we talked about in our last video, oh, look, I have, 10,000 Twitter followers now. Boom.
Right.
It's like, what has that done for your business? What has that helped you to accomplish? Right. And I think people, some people like just that idea. It's really interesting because we talk a lot about metrics overall within our online business manager certification program. Right. I actually consider that to be one of the 4 key pillars of what an OBM does when they're working with their clients is help to track and keep an eye on metrics and such, because numbers in a business really speak volumes as to the reality of what's going on there. Right. And, there are business owners out there certainly who are pretty plugged into their numbers. In my experience, more often than not, business owners are not plugged into their numbers because they're either afraid of them or allergic to them. It's just like, don't let me go near them. I don't even know what to do with this. What does it mean? Or they're like, yikes, I don't want to know what's really going on. I think social media is almost like just the big kahuna of that, where it's just, so many people are spending so much time and energy and effort here. And it really does. If somebody's sitting there ever wondering, oh, is this actually helping me get clients or not? that's where metrics has to come into play. You know, you need to be able to set up a structure, a process, and to know what to track and how to track it, so that you can answer that for your clients, right? You know, if you're working as an online business manager and a client is saying, so is this social media thing working for us or not? You need to be able to answer. You can't just sit there and go, I think it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. You got a bunch of followers now. Like, yay.
In a couple months. We'll see in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Or, you know, one thing I always hear too is that, and honestly, I've said this and thought this myself too, kind of because I just didn't really know what or how to track all of this. It's kind of like, oh, I know it's doing something for me. I know it'll pay off in the long run. You know, it's honestly, that's basically what I've done for myself in my own business over the past few years as it applies to social media, right? It's like, you know, I know it's doing something for me, but I couldn't really sit here and tell you exactly what, you know, whereas you think of the flip side of that, how empowering is it to be able to, and for you as an OBM to bring this to the table for your clients, right? How empowering is it for you to be able to say, hey, look, you know, we did this and this happened. Hey, look, you know, this blog post was posted. This many people saw it and this many people tweeted it and this many people, you know, maybe bought something as a result of it or joined your list as a result of it or do, right? Let's do that again. That worked. Let's do that again. Or that worked. You hit on a hot topic there versus, oh, I don't know. We're just doing things. We're just kind of on autopilot, plugging things along every month. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. I don't know the numbers of this, Lena. I don't know if anybody would, but I would dare say in the big wide world of business strategies these days that people use, social media is probably one of them where where there's a ton of money wasted. Ultimately, that's not leading back to results, right? You know, money invested in teams, systems, people, whatever, time of the people doing it. It's like, yowza.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how people can invest in social media in any way they choose, and it's not really getting or meeting the mark. I think so here's like a prime example, personal example for me. So until January of this year, I wrote for Entrepreneur Magazine, and my team would send me my stats for across all of my web properties and my articles and columns that I write, etc., and my blogs and stuff. And I received my stats one month, my stats report, and the numbers were like way low. And, you know, I was about to get insulted. I was like, what's this? You know, and, what do you mean? And so I looked at, and the numbers were maybe in 500s in terms of views, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm used to, you know, 30, 40, 50,000 views per column. And so each time I wrote an article, I'm looking at the number of views, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. But this particular month, I had like 500 views, and I'm like, what's with that? So I contacted my business manager, and I said, did you notice that the numbers were low? And she said, yeah, I was going to bring that up in our team meeting on Friday, that those numbers are quite low. And so I said, well, I'm going to email my editor, and I'm going to ask her, like, hey, what's up with this? And so I did, and turns out the syndication was turned off. So all the things that got me the extended views that I was looking for, mm-hmm. the visibility, the footprint that I was looking for, that something went wonky with the technology, and that was turned off, right? So that wasn't functioning. And so a couple things from that, right? First of all, I was the only contributor, the only author, the only columnist that even said anything about it, because guess what? Nobody else is paying attention to the numbers. Mm.
Yeah.
Secondly, I now look like a rock star with my editor because I'm able to point out something that's not working that if they didn't catch it soon could have cost them millions of unique visitors and millions of views. Mm-hmm. Then the third thing is, I asked her, I said, well, if this is where the bulk of my readership is coming from, how do I do more of that? And she says, oh, just post more often. And I said, all right, I'm going to do that. So as a business owner, I am now able to see where the 80% of my 20%, mm-hmm. right? Yeah. I'm able to see where my results are coming from so that I can lather, rinse, repeat. I can do that again and again and again. So that's how you learn. The numbers will start to tell you a story, I promise you, if you just pay attention to them.
Totally do. And they tell you a story that allows you to do more of what works and less of what doesn't.
And that's what success is all about.
Yeah, it really, really is. So again, you guys, this will be something, this is step number 8 in the process, in the authentic influencer social media system that Lena is going to be teaching us as part of this program here that she's offering exclusively, and especially for us as online business managers, right? Because, you know, alongside all the metric stuff we do in general with our clients and whatnot, we need to be really plugged into and aware of these social media metrics and how to track this stuff and how to bring it to clients and be like, woohoo, look at this, or this isn't working so well, or whatever it is that we need to be able to do, right? Of course, would love to have you join us for that full-blown program. If you go to obmacademy.com, you will find out all the details there, and with the links and such included with this video here too. And we'll see you guys next time. Video number 5, we're going to tackle our final myth. And this myth is one that has a nice little secret in it for you, of sorts, if you will. It's something I think a lot of people aren't really thinking about or realizing in this big wide world of how social media can actually help build a business. So we'll see you guys there. Take care, everyone. Bye now.